Hello, book lovers! Welcome to Read with Fatim, where every story comes to life in just a few minutes.
Today, we're going to step into a book that feels less like reading and more like remembering a dream. Marguerite Duras's The Lover. This book isn't just a story, it's a whisper from the past, a confession written with a pen dipped in sunlight and rain. Marguerite Duras wrote it when she was much older, looking back at a single, incredibly important year of her childhood in French Indochina, now Vietnam, in the 1920s. And you know what makes it so special? It's often called a novel, but Duras herself said it was truly her life. She won the famous Prix Goncourt for it, which means the whole world agreed this memory was a masterpiece. It's a story about the messy, beautiful, sometimes painful lessons we learn when we're young. It explores loneliness, the fierce, complicated love we have for our family, and the strange, unstoppable force of destiny that pulls two people together, even when society screams for them to stay apart. It's a tale told not in straight lines, but in flashes of memory, like old photographs suddenly coming to life. Imagine the air is thick and sweet with the smell of river water and tropical flowers. Imagine the dust is red and fine, catching the light like powdered rubies. Take my hand, friend. Let's not just read this story. Let's step onto that ferry, let's feel the heat on our skin, and let's meet the girl who is about to learn the greatest, most heartbreaking lesson of her life. Our journey begins on a ferry boat, crossing the vast, muddy, cinnamon-colored Mekong River. This is French Indochina, years and years ago, a place so far away it feels like another world. And there she is, our girl. She is 15 and a half, skinny and awkward, with the kind of innocent face that hasn't quite figured out how to become an adult yet. She's wearing something extraordinary, a thin, worn silk dress that was once her mother's, and a pair of utterly unforgettable, high-heeled gold lame shoes. They are absurd and magnificent, catching the sun and making her feel brave, like a child playing a grown-up part. She wears them because she knows instinctively that they are a shield and a dare all at once. She is traveling alone, returning to her boarding school in Saigon after a short holiday. The heat is heavy, the air is thick, and the ferry is full of the usual mix of travelers. She stands by the railing, gazing out at the immense indifferent river, feeling the familiar deep ache of her family's poverty. Her mother, a school teacher, is struggling to raise 3 children in a land that feels both cruel and beautiful. Their world is held together by worry, love, and a desperate, almost unbearable hope. And then she sees him. He is Chinese, maybe 27, very wealthy, and wearing a crisp, beautiful suit, smoking an American cigarette. He is handsome in a quiet, melancholy way, driving a large black limousine. He notices her, of course he does. Who could ignore the tiny European girl in a man's fedora and those dazzling, defiant gold shoes? The moment he approaches her, everything slows down. It's not a grand, movie-style moment of instant love, but a moment of absolute, undeniable recognition. He offers her a ride in his car. She accepts. The car is cool, quiet, and smells of expensive leather, a world away from her hot, messy home. She doesn't hesitate. It's as if an invisible thread, spun by fate and the hot Mekong air, has already connected them long before they exchange their first words in that silent, luxurious car, riding away from the ferry and towards a future she can't possibly imagine. The girl feels a strange, cold clarity. She knows, instantly and completely, that she is embarking on something momentous, something that will change the very shape of her life, and that it must, by its nature, remain a secret. The only question is, what exactly is she letting herself be pulled into? The truth, as she understands it with her young, sharp mind, is simple and painful. He is wealthy, her family is poor, desperate even, and she, in her reckless gold shoes, is offering a trade. She agrees to meet him, to go with him to his small apartment in Cholon, the Chinese district of the city. She approaches the entire affair with a cold, almost clinical detachment, as though she is watching a character in a book, not living her own life. This deliberate coldness is her way of surviving, of protecting the vulnerable 15-year-old girl hiding beneath the layers of silk and bravado. She tells herself it is about the money, about the possibility of a little relief for her exhausted mother. But the moment they are alone, in that small shuttered room, the coldness begins to melt. He is shy, gentle, and utterly terrified of her. His hands tremble. He speaks to her in a low, respectful voice, never demanding, always asking. This wealthy, powerful man, the heir to an enormous fortune, is undone by the tiny European girl. He sees the beautiful absurdity of her, the poverty hidden beneath the audacious clothes, and he loves her not for what she represents, but for who she is in that complicated, lonely place. And here is the heartbreaking, beautiful twist. She resists. She wants to be detached, to keep the transaction clear and clean, but his sincerity, his profound devotion, begins to break her. He cries. He tells her how much he loves her. He begs her to say she loves him too, and she, cruel in her youth and guardedness, refuses, unable to speak a lie that feels too enormous. Yet, in the silence, a different kind of truth begins to bloom. It is not the casual lust she expected, but a deep, overwhelming tenderness. Their relationship becomes a secret life, hidden from the world. Every afternoon after school, she takes a bus to Cholon. She learns his smell, his silence, the quiet way he waits for her. She learns the rhythm of his sadness. She's pulled deeper and deeper into the safety of this secret room, where for the first time she feels truly seen, truly wanted, without the chaos of her family. The poverty remains, the gold shoes become scuffed, but in that small, hidden apartment, she begins to find a refuge built not on money, but on the silent language of two lonely souls finding each other in an indifferent world. It is the purest, most complicated kind of beginning, full of both calculated coldness and unexpected blossoming warmth. Their secret, like all secrets held in the humid, watchful air of the tropics, couldn't last forever. The girl's family, her mother, her older brother Pierre, and her younger brother Paul, is a constant, chaotic force in her life. The mother is fierce, sometimes despairing, and struggling to hold their life together. Pierre, the older brother, is the darkest presence, violent, cruel, and profoundly jealous of anyone who finds happiness or success outside his own misery. He is the family's shadow, the source of constant, simmering terror. Paul, the younger brother, is the sweet, silent observer, the gentle soul who loves his sister fiercely and is perhaps the only one who truly sees the toll the family's life is taking on her. When the affair is inevitably discovered, through whispers perhaps, or a sudden unexpected luxury, the reaction is explosive. The mother is furious, not just at the immorality, but at the risk. Pierre is viciously angry, seeing an easy target for his endless resentment. The girl, surprisingly, remains calm, shielded by the certainty of her choice and the emotional fortress she's built. She defends him, not with words of love, but with cold, hard facts about the family's need. She allows him to give her small amounts of money, which she immediately hands over to her mother, a painful, shared silence passing between them. The family's contempt for the Chinese man is open and brutal. They see him as beneath them, a walking bank account, a temporary shame they must tolerate for financial survival. They accept his gifts, a car, a house for the mother, but they never accept him. They treat him with a casual, sickening cruelty, and the girl watches, a witness to her family's ugly side, their desperation laid bare. The poor white family, desperate for superiority, using the wealthy Chinese man as both a lifeline and a punching bag for their own failures. This cruelty, paradoxically, only deepens the girl's bond with the man. In their hidden apartment, he is all tenderness and silent suffering. He never complains about her family's treatment. He only ever speaks of his love, and she, in turn, slowly, painfully, begins to open up. She stops seeing the transaction and begins to see the man. She finds herself crying in his arms, not for the love she won't yet admit, but for the profound relief of being safe, even for an hour, from the relentless storm of her own family. Their time together becomes a quiet, sacred space, a tiny island of peace in a tropical sea of chaos. She is still protected by her youth and her refusal to say the word love, but the feeling is now a fierce, undeniable current pulling her heart toward his. The end, like all beautiful, impossible things, arrives too soon. His family, powerful and traditional, has decided that the affair must stop. They have arranged his marriage to a wealthy Chinese woman of their choosing, a necessity to maintain their fortune and status. There is no argument, it is simply the way the world works. Neither of them fights it, because they both understood from the very beginning that their time was borrowed, a beautiful parenthesis in the harsh grammar of their lives. The girl is going back to France for her education. The man is going home to his inevitable arranged life. There is a final, wordless goodbye. She is at the port, ready to board the ship that will take her away from Indochina forever. The immense steamship is a monument to finality, its horn echoing the vast distance that is about to separate them. As the ship pulls away, she stands on the deck. She watches the Asian coast recede, a beautiful, brutal landscape that shaped her childhood. The Chinese man does not come to the port. The goodbye has already happened, contained within the walls of their little apartment, a silence thicker and heavier than any words. But then, as the ship is moving out to sea, she hears a piece of music being played on the ship's phonograph. It is a waltz by Chopin, familiar and deeply sad. And in that moment, something breaks. The protective shell she has worn for months, the detachment, the cold, young certainty, shatters completely. The love she refused to speak, the grief she refused to feel, all rush to the surface, overwhelming her. The music, a simple, beautiful melody, becomes a catalyst for an anguish so profound she cannot breathe. She realizes, only in the moment of losing him forever, the enormous, essential place he holds in her heart. Years later, decades later, when the girl is a famous grown-up writer, the phone rings. It is the Chinese man calling from Paris. He is there on a trip, he is married, has children, and his life is settled. But he has called her for one reason, one simple, devastating truth that has endured through the passing years. He tells her simply that he wanted to call her to tell her that he still loves her. He tells her that he has never stopped loving her, that he will love her until the day he dies. In that final, unexpected moment, the memory, the story, and the girl's long-guarded heart finally, completely align. The memory, which she has carried and denied for a lifetime, is finally free, and she knows that the love they shared was not a shameful secret, but the one pure truth of her complicated youth. Oh, friends! Isn't that an incredible, haunting story? It leaves you with such a gentle ache, doesn't it? The real message of The Lover isn't about the scandal or the sadness, I think. It's about the power of a single moment to shape your entire life. It teaches us that love can appear in the strangest, most complicated circumstances, and that sometimes the things that feel most forbidden are the things that hold the greatest, purest truth. This book made me feel deeply understood, in a strange way. It made me realize that families are messy, and growing up is messy, and sometimes the kindest people are the ones who are the most silent. It reminded me that we build walls around our hearts when we are scared, but that tenderness is the only thing strong enough to make those walls fall down. And so, my dear friends, as we close the cover of this beautiful memory, I want to leave you with a thought. What is the one story, the one quiet moment from your own life that you know you will carry with you forever, the one that taught you the truest meaning of love? Keep that memory safe, keep dreaming, and as always, keep reading. Until next time, friends, be brave, be kind, and never forget your own extraordinary story.